Hello, everybody, to this Wednesday edition of 4FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Jake Taylor.
And I'm student meteorologist Braden Robinson. And in 2 days, we're celebrating the 50th birthday of the Oglesby Union here at Florida State.
Student Union is definitely at 50 years. Wow, that's quite a milestone, I'd say. That's
yes, sir.
half a century there.
They're doing a lot of fun, a lot of discounts. You go to Crenshaw Lanes, Paint a Pot. They're got a bunch of stuff going on at it more, a bunch of free stuff, a bunch of discounted stuff, and they're also rededicating the Oglesby Union. So it's gonna be a lot of fun out there.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. But I mean, we got quite a show tonight, right? We're talking about multiple stories across the country in terms of really the big story is cold today, right? Just cold weather.
Absolutely. Cold weather coming your way. If you are going to be out to the Oglesby Union on Friday, you're going to be waking up to temperatures in the upper 30s, not even getting up maybe into the 60s. It's going to be pretty close.
Right. It's going to be a very, very chilly couple of days. And then we have one front coming through and then another one that we might be some areas near here might be flirting around with the 20s, right?
Yes, sir. Models making their way and looking at lower 30s. Some models bringing us into the lower to mid 20s, a little far out, so we're not expecting it to get that cold, but right around the freezing level. Expect that in the next week or so, 6 or 7 days out. So nothing to worry about yet, but let's worry about this first blast of cold weather first.
Well, some areas have already seen temperature changes. Some areas saw 20-degree temperature changes in an hour or a few hours. So
that's
it's
right.
been very potent, very strong collection of air here. So, and
we'll see that in your overview. We'll check it out. So like we were talking about, enjoy the weather now, but isolated showers will return for your Thursday. We're going to have a pretty big cool down Friday, so expect that. Maybe low temperatures in the upper to mid 30s, but you could see where that cold front is, where the clouds are, where the rain is really lining up. Cold front really draped across the southeast, cuts through Pensacola, and then dips south. Pretty defined front. You see some moisture out into parts of Texas and into Mexico. But as far as the rest of the satellite radar, just clouds enveloping the area. Tomorrow, we may not even see some sunshine. Just going to be a lot of clouds out there. 56, a seasonal night for tonight. Some scattered clouds. But as we go into tomorrow, you're going to have to stick around to find out how warm it's going to get and how much rain we're actually going to get. But expect clouds, expect it to be cooler, and expect some isolated showers as our winds start to shift out of the north. Jake?
All right, Braden, that sounds very interesting over the next few days, but for now, let's take a look at one of a pretty big achievement in mankind's space program. Europe's Rosetta made a landing on the comet 67b. That's its designation right there on the screen. That is the comet that has been trailing for 10 years, over 6.4 billion kilometers. This thing's been moving 5 laps around the sun. Finally landed on it over the past few days. This is an image from about 80 kilometers out before it landed. So this has been a pretty big achievement. We've been trying as the space program around the world to land on one of these for many years. It's going to be able to tell us more about the solar system's composition and such, because these comets really haven't been affected like planets would have, for instance. But when it landed, actually landed twice, bounced up and landed again, and when it did, it sent out a tweet that said, "Touchdown, my new address 67P. So very interesting. But for now, back to Earth and back to Tallahassee. We're going to be taking a look at things over the next few days as Braden just kind of put into motion. We look at current temperatures right now. 70s around the board. 78 really the hot spot in Tallahassee, the capital city. Down there at Carabel seeing 69 degrees. So things are starting to cool down, but we'll be seeing much cooler temps over the next few days as these series of cold fronts move in. And right now, the winds, some of them showing a northerly to northwesterly trend, and this is going to be predominant over the next few days. As the fronts move through, we're going to see more northerly winds as the front moves. It's going to keep our moisture down. We're not going to get much flow from the Gulf. It's not going to bring our moisture up quite as much. So right now here we do have pretty good, the deeper the green images or the green colors on your screen, that's the moisture. So we do have some moisture extending all the way from the over the Gulf towards really North Carolina and Wilmington, seeing some even. Most of the precipitation, though, taking place in southern Texas and western Mexico right now. But for the future, cold front's going to move pretty slowly. This is not a really fast mover, but it will be moving through. 67 is what we have it tomorrow at 1 p.m. or 62, excuse me. So things are going to be a little bit cooler than we saw today, mid-70s, and then it's going to move through and things are going to get much colder. 33, this is a model. We haven't, might not get quite that cold, but this is a model. It's got it at 33. We're going more upper 30s. But check the model's forecast for Memphis, Tennessee, 16 degrees. That's very, very cold. It's going to be a very, very, very strong, massive air moving through. And the next on Friday, 52 degrees in Tallahassee, 39 in Atlanta, and 33 in Memphis. These are this is not even nighttime yet, so it's going to be a very cold couple of days moving into Sunday. But right now, on the beach, north winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, so still coming out of the north. Not going to be bringing moisture from the Gulf, so our temperatures are going to be a little bit more extreme. UV index is at 11, so heading out there, remember to have your sunscreen. And 11, we can't really sneer at that. That's a pretty extreme case. Got to protect the skin moving out there. But for tonight anyway, it's going to be 50s around the board. Things are still going to be pretty moderate, pretty seasonable, mid-50s around the board. Like I said, it's going to be a nice night. Northwest winds 5 miles per hour. So front hasn't moved through yet. We're calling for it Thursday into Friday is when we're going to see the temperatures really start to plummet. For tomorrow, 68. So you notice today we had mid 80s, upper 70s as our temperature trends. Tomorrow we're calling for upper 60s. So that's pretty significant little drop. 57 in Bainbridge, and around the board sitting at the upper 60s. But taking a look at the week ahead, talking about the Miami game later on in the show, we're looking at a forecast for you at the Around Florida segment. But 68 for tomorrow. Rain chances going up a little bit, some scattered showers as the front moves through, and then temperatures start to dip back into the 30s moving in to the next week. And then take a look at Wednesday, cold blast. But we'll have more on that in just a minute. But Braden, actually we're going to take it with Donovan right now. Excuse me for a look at the southeast.
All right, thanks, Jake. Yeah, we're going to kind of piggyback off just what you were talking about with this cold front moving in. This map actually shows where it is visibly at right now. You can see just where these colors differentiate here from the lighter to the darker, excuse me. 37 up in Nashville, 37 in Memphis, 43 in Jackson, Mississippi, and that's pretty far south. We consider that the deep south. That's very cold for them. New Orleans is around 54. You see 30s out in Texas and up into Oklahoma and out that way. They are going to be seeing some snow possibly by Saturday of this week, so very cold for them. However, let's take it back and see some of the warmer temperatures here on the East Coast. You see here in Atlanta, they're about to see that cold front. 57 degrees there, 58 in Montgomery, 56 in Mobile, 72 here in Tallahassee, 62 in Jacksonville. They could be seeing a couple of showers over there associated with the low pressure system that was there the other day. Now down in Melbourne, they're at 70. Of course, Miami, they always stay warm, 78 degrees. Let's take it into our current wind speeds, and you can see just where the direction is coming from. That's due to that cold front moving in. So a lot of this direction is coming from the northwest, and we're even seeing it here in Florida already. Of course, Key West is pointing straight south, and then Atlanta, 10 degrees. It's feeling a little bit cooler up there with that wind, and of course it's moving in the direction we'd expect. And this is how humid it is around the southeast. Here in Tallahassee, we're around 64%, Atlanta, 72%, New Orleans, 77%. They could be seeing some precipitation. They definitely are down there in Key West at 79%. Miami staying pretty dry right now and not too humid. And here's our water vapor, just talking more about that moisture and precipitation. Off this green, that's what that indicates, is moisture in the atmosphere. And we're seeing that all across the southeast with all this drier temperature off the coast of the Atlantic. So we're expecting that to be in our atmosphere the next couple of days. And we're just taking a better look at that. You can see a lot of stuff going on around Texas down there, where they've saw some tropical storms here as of late. Not a lot going on here in our region, here in Tallahassee, just a little bit of gray hanging over, and that's just due to some cloud coverage and things like that. Now on the water tomorrow, if you're around the southeast here, it's going to be pretty calm. The wind is picking up, however, 15 knots. Waves are getting a little bit more. And of course, tonight's forecast, we're seeing a pretty comfortable evening as that cold front approaches. Now let's go talk to Jake and Braden for more.
Thank you very much, Donovan. And over the last couple days, you might have been watching TV, your local station, and you've been hearing a lot of words: polar vortex, bombogenesis, Arctic blast. We just wanted to clear things up a little bit, maybe give a little more explanation to those words. So Jake, let's start with polar vortex.
All right, now when you listen to the news, it probably sounds a lot cooler to say the polar vortex of death coming to ruin the world. The polar vortex always exists. It's not necessarily it's not usually the cause. It doesn't move, right? They make it sound like it's a giant storm moving in, but it always exists, and it's usually not. It usually doesn't really impact our cold temperatures that much, right?
That is correct. And bombogenesis, you may have heard that one over the last couple days with this low pressure system that has moved in. Different word. There actually is a word called bomb cyclogenesis. which is when a system drops its pressure 24 millibars in a day, which is a pretty significant drop. But nothing to worry about. It's just another low pressure system, so nothing to get scared about. But we'll go ahead, take it to see what's going on for the rest of the nation with you, Jake.
Oh yeah,
and let's talk about it.
In terms of Arctic blast, we'll be talking about that in a minute. But I need to make it clear, not all of our colder temperatures come from the Arctic, but taking a look at our warnings and watches, we do have some pretty significant cold temperatures taking place here. These lighter blues are the freeze warnings, and the lighter blues, or the shades right next to it, are the freeze watches. So do have some of those in effect around the Big Bend, extending all the way to Atlanta. And then up here, the pinks are our winter storm warnings. So these, as this front moves in, it's very strong. It's going to be causing significant, we're going to have you watching for freeze. We've already seen snow along many regions in the north throughout the past few days. As this front moves in right now, the 24-hour temperature change, it's really, you can see where it's moving through right now. New Orleans, minus 20 degrees. So that's pretty, it's pretty significant. Minus 10 in Dallas. San Antonio seeing minus 8. But then up there in Billings, it's only +1. So the front's already moved past there. It's really settled in. It's moving towards the east right now, dropping temperatures pretty dramatically. And we will be seeing that in the capital city over the next few days. But our current conditions, we saw Billings actually sitting colder over the past couple of hours. It's actually risen up to 8 degrees now. Denver was at 4 degrees right now, extending all the way down. Things get warmer as you head on through over here towards the Florida Panhandle. 78 still in Miami. They're still pretty warm. 72 in Tallahassee. But like I said, this Big Bend, we'll be seeing things dip back down as the front continues to move on. This is a good look at what we're really dealing with right now. Just really cluttered all around the nation right now. We have this moisture moving in from the Gulf down here into New Orleans and the southeast. But then up here we have the cold front moving through. It's slightly clearer behind the all the clouds on your screens, the grays and whites, and this is where the front's moving right now, going to be bringing us our chances of, not only our chances for rain, but our colder temperatures as we move through. And this is the big precipitation coming off of the Gulf right now, mostly off the southern tip of Texas, right off the San Antonio, and the western tip of, or western coast, excuse me, of Mexico, extending all the way over to New Orleans, but mostly affecting this area for now, causing cloud cover in other regions. Over here in the northeast, this is the other rain or precipitation that we've been noticing over the past few days, actually causing some airport delays in New York, I believe. But moving over here, we have a little bit of a disturbance moving off towards Seattle, but not significant precipitation to comment about right now. But airport delays, like I said, we see 26 minutes over New York. That's the big one right now. But tonight's forecast, -8 in Denver and Billings. It's pretty cold down here, 25 in Memphis and 56 in Tallahassee. And then for tomorrow, 68 Tallahassee, moving up 14 in Billings and 21 in Denver. So it's going to be a cold couple of days. But Braden, let's bring it back to the local. What are we going to be seeing in Tallahassee over the next few days?
Well, Jake, we definitely won't be seeing -8, but we will be seeing cold temperatures over the next couple of days as that cold front makes its way in through. Enjoy the weather now with those isolated showers coming in on Thursday, your big cool down on Friday. But for the rest of the work week, 10% chance of rain. You may not even need to bring an umbrella, just a couple drizzle. But Friday, beautiful day, but check out how much colder. 60 for your high, not even get to 60. It'd be nice if we did. But starting your morning off with upper 30s. Lower 70s is what we're sitting at right now, unless you're talking about Quincy, Perry, or Carabel sitting in the upper 60s. Good evening to you, St. Mark's. Here also at 74. Further north, a little cooler, 70 out in Thomasville, 71 in Mariana, and they're going to be feeling the effects of that cold front first as it begins to move in. Satellite and radar showing clouds, nothing in the way of moisture or rain at this point, and there's not much moisture to go around, which is why we aren't seeing some rain with the system yet, but we might be seeing just a little bit tomorrow. Might just get enough lift and enough moisture to really get those rain showers started, but it's not going to be everywhere. Isolated cases. So moisture, this is where all the moisture is, really down in Texas. There's a nice little cutoff right here, which is cutting off the moisture from making its way onto land and into Tallahassee, really kind of just refined to the coast, but clouds really enveloping the country as we just saw in the national and with the futurecast with our computer model showing you the temperatures as this cold front makes its way through for tomorrow afternoon. Expect mid to upper 60s. 62 is what the model's saying. We have 68. But as we get into Thursday night and into Friday morning, our model's telling us 33 degrees. We have it at 39, so we're not going quite as cold as the models are going, but expect those temperatures to go down quite a bit. And into Friday afternoon, just lower 50s. It's still going to be cold. 33 maybe, your high temperature in Memphis on Friday. Atlanta also not even breaking into the 40s. So for tonight, 56 degrees, a seasonal evening, some scattered clouds. Scattered clouds. Wow. Scattered clouds, winds out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. And as we get into tomorrow, 68 degrees, cooler with some isolated showers, northwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that 10% chance of rain. And then for your weather wear over the next couple days, tomorrow, bring a rain jacket because there's going to be some drizzling. Friday, bust out the coat because it's going to be cooling. And Saturday, get ready to dress in layers because the low temperature, 34 degrees, is just going to be downright cold. The 7-day forecast, luckily no clouds on it. But as we go into the weekend, Miami, down in Miami on Saturday, 60% chance of rain on Sunday before we have that cold blast on Wednesday. Guys?
All right, thanks, Braden. Great look at things, but as we see those temperatures drop to like -8 in some regions, we see obviously the winter weather is really starting to set in, even though we're still in fall. But we do have some tips here for people with their, specifically their cars and homes, right?
Absolutely. We started this trend last week as we were seeing some bad weather. For tonight, we're going to talk about what you can do for your car. Luckily here in our area, we don't have to worry about it too much, but in certain areas, you want to have your radiator checked and make sure that the antifreeze level is where it should be because you don't want to be stranded without a car in this bad weather.
Right, you want to make sure you have your wipers and the fluid all ready to go. You don't want to pour hot water, especially if you have freezing temperatures outside. That will probably crack your windshield, so you don't want to do that. And then as far as homes go, you know, make sure things are well insulated and make sure your water pipes are properly make sure those are insulated as well.
Absolutely, because this time of year you definitely see some freezing of water, and that's never good if you don't have water in your house. So be sure you're aware of that. Also, like you said, trimming branches with these storms coming in. Luckily, again, we don't have to worry about that. So maybe let's go talk about a local forecast.
Actually, we're going to take a look at around Florida. What do you have to tell us about that?
Oh, let's talk around Florida. Currently here in Tallahassee, we're at 72 degrees. Over in Jacksonville, they're seeing 62 degrees. The further south you go, obviously, you're seeing some warmer temperatures with Miami staying very comfortable around 78 degrees, and down in Nassau, 79 degrees this evening is what we're calling for. Pensacola is already feeling some of the effects of this cold front that's moving through, and we're going to talk even more about that cold front in just a moment. This actually ties in as well. You see the current winds out there, 12 miles per hour coming from the northwest, and that's, again, what we would expect from this cold front moving in. You can already tell that it is there, and it's cooling down. Our relative humidity around the state, here in Tallahassee, 64%. It's pretty humid out there. It's pretty much around 50 degrees, I believe, right now, our dew point. 76 in Pensacola, 93 in Jacksonville. They're probably seeing some showers out that way. And the further south you go, you see it dropping. In Orlando, 53%, 57 in Tampa. Down in Key West, however, they are seeing some showers in their area. And this is just taking a look around Florida with all of our radar here. Out towards Louisiana and New Orleans, they're probably also seeing some showers. That's what this blue and green is indicating. Here it's not a lot. We saw a few things going on around the East Coast over here around Jacksonville. That has since died down. But let's take it in a little closer. This is most likely due to just a disturbance on our satellite. Not a lot of rainfall going out there. As you can see here in Tallahassee, it's showing the same thing. But down in Key West, they are seeing some showers. Pretty humid down there, a lot of rainfall. And we're going to bring it up to Tampa now. They're staying pretty calm down there, pretty warm. But again, those temperatures are going to drop as that cold front moves in. Now let's take it here into the region. Again, these are probably just due to just some disturbances. We haven't seen any precipitation today. It's been a really nice day. I hope you've enjoyed it before the cooler temperatures get here. Now, of course, here in our town, we are a football town. Not a game here in Tallahassee this weekend, but of course our Noles are going to be down in Miami, and this is a game day forecast. That kickoff 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're expecting temperatures around 72 degrees. Pretty clear outside, however, it will be fairly humid. We'll let you know as it gets closer about precipitation chances and things like that before game time. Now for tonight's forecast, we're seeing around 56 degrees here in Tallahassee, 57 in Jacksonville. Again, Pensacola feeling the effects of that cold front. They should be around 46 degrees. Fort Myers around 58. Pretty comfortable evening here in Tallahassee, a seasonal evening for this time of year. And for tomorrow, 68 here in Tallahassee, you see some clouds. We're getting rid of those sunshines, unfortunately. A lot of clouds hanging over our area as that cold front moves in. But that's nothing to be too worried about. Now, Braden, let's go ahead and talk about maybe some tropics.
Yeah, let's talk about it. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting to the point of the season where some people are going to come up and they're going to say, you know, it's the middle of November, things are starting to cool down, tropical season is over. You tell them no. Tropical season is not over. We have 18 days left, and we also have plenty of time to see a couple storms. The ocean is still pretty warm, doesn't cool as fast as the land, and plenty of time left. We've also seen storms after the tropical season, so let's make sure we stay aware. We have had plenty of storms going all the way to Tropical Storm Hannah. The next one, Isaiah, is going to make its way into the picture if it does get into development. But in November, expect storms coming out of the Caribbean, maybe into the western Atlantic Ocean, but really starting to slow down. But slow down doesn't mean it's over. So make sure you continue to stay prepared. Gulf of Mexico, just a lot of high-level clouds. We've been seeing the rain, we've been seeing the moisture, and clouds making their way into the country too. But as we head out into the Atlantic, nothing organized to speak of. We got a nice little line, which is pretty cool, but you know, nothing organized, no disturbance. There's a little thing out here, but still nothing we're watching, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and bring it back to the tri-state area. Check out your temperatures as this cold front begins to move through. 72 Tallahassee, 67 out in Valdosta. Check out Meridian, all the way out in Mississippi where that cold front has already moved through. 46 degrees. That's going to continue to cool down. They will probably get into the 30s tonight. 58 out in Montgomery. The cold front just moved through there. You could see where it's really cutting off in Pensacola, maybe right through Dothan, Albany, just to the north and west of us. It's going to make its way through tonight into tomorrow morning, bring us a little bit of moisture, maybe a couple showers. But right now, we're dealing with the clouds. Showers out into Meridian, Mississippi, as we were talking about, making their way to the east with all those clouds and that front, but really moisture being limited to the coast, and that's from that northwest wind that we've had in front of the front. Very interesting. We usually see southerly flow in front of the front. So to see the northerly flow, that's what's really been limiting that shower activity. So futurecast temperatures as we go into tonight, Thursday night, we've already seen this a couple times, but getting down into the lower 50s, 53 at 5 a.m. Thursday morning, but up in Montgomery, 39, Meridian, 33 degrees. So we are getting pretty cold as we get into Thursday afternoon, 61 for us. Further north, again, staying cool. Central Florida still sitting pretty, though, 77 in Orlando, 75 out in Tampa. But let's get into Thursday night. 33 degrees tomorrow morning, 35 out into Valdosta, low to mid 20s up north, 20 Meridian, 26 Montgomery, 29 in Dothan, and now Central Florida starting to get a nice little feel of those temperatures, 49 out in Orlando, 40 up in Gainesville. But as we go into Friday afternoon, we're going to be looking at 47 in Tallahassee, Valdosta, and into the evening, it's just going to continue to cool down. Jake, we got the fair going on. What can you tell us about it?
Oh yeah, Braden, and it looks the weather's going to be looking pretty good from your forecast. Chances of rain are not significant until Sunday when we're going to have another front moved in, but then shouldn't be anything that could ruin your day heading to the fair. But the North Florida Fair is going on till this Sunday, the 16th. We'll be ending that night, and there's a good image right there. One of the nighttime, obviously we have the rides, Ferris wheel, plenty of food out there, funnel cakes, you name it. It's going to be all over the place. I believe admission for unlimited rides, those bands are $20. But in terms of weather, we have the National Weather Service has a booth down there that I've participated in. The Federal Department of Emergency Management has a booth. But for the kids, obviously, and well, for me too, I want to hop on the rides, but there are rides, there's a petting zoo, there's several shows even. We have the Demolition Derby, Wild World of Animals, and Show Me Swine Racers, where we will see some pigs getting into a race. So it's going to be a great couple of days as we move into this 37th annual North Florida Fair. But we already saw a brief overview of the local forecast, but Donovan's going to go ahead and finish us up with an extended forecast.
That's right, Jake. Thanks so much. I got out there last night for the fair, and I would just say I had a warm jacket on. I was having to share with other people. So make sure that you're well prepared for the fair this evening. Currently, if you're heading out there, it's around 72 degrees. The sun has set here on this Wednesday in November. There is some overcast, and you see it's pretty humid outside, 64%. Keep that in mind as you're going out. And here around the Big Bend, this is our temperatures. Here in Tallahassee, again, 72 degrees. Down in Apalachicola, they're also at 72 degrees, with temperatures rising a little more up there around Bainbridge, up in the Peach State. However, basically across the board, it's pretty much the same, lower 70s. And here's our dew points, 59 degrees here in Tallahassee, with that increasing down in Apalachicola. And again, that just kind of tells you how humid it is outside. It's nothing too bad. As it gets higher, we expect precipitation. Here's our satellite as the sun has set today. This is taking it all through today here on Wednesday. Just some clouds out there. However, it was a pretty nice day. We saw a lot of sunshine. We're not going to see a lot of that tomorrow, unfortunately, so I hope you've enjoyed it for today. Now, here's been the big story all night. It's that cold front moving in to our area, and you can already see where it is currently. It's getting very close. It's just sort of looming down our way. You can see temperatures behind it have dropped. 38 in Memphis, 21 in Kansas City. Denver's been seeing some bad weather all week, and then even into Dallas, they're seeing some seasonably low temperatures, 36 degrees here on this Wednesday evening. Temperatures dropping behind it, and we're expected to see much the same as it moves in. Here's tomorrow at 1 p.m. We should be around 62. According to this model, we're actually calling for some higher temperatures, but this is fairly accurate. 56 in Atlanta as it passes through into tomorrow evening. We're going to see temperatures getting around freezing here in Tallahassee. You see there, we got our frigid graphic up. That's very cold. We haven't seen anything like that yet. If you have plants outside, it's probably a good idea to cover those and keep your pets indoors as well. As the temperature drops, it's almost wintertime. It feels like wintertime, at least by tomorrow. And here's our high for tomorrow, 52 degrees. Might be a little warmer than that, but still, that's cold for us here. We don't care for those temperatures too much. However, we're hoping that those temperatures rise as it passes through. Now, here's our beach forecast for tomorrow. You can notice that wind is just picking up, and it'll be moving out of the north-northwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour. That's surface around 2 to 3 feet. Water temperature is probably a little cooler than 82 degrees. And again, you got to be careful with this UV index. You don't want to get any bad sunburn. Sit under an umbrella if you decide to go out to the beach. And here's on the water for tomorrow. Again, much of the same. It's going to be kind of rough out there. And of course, for tonight's forecast, 56 here in Tallahassee, basically upper 50s across the board. And it's just going to be a pretty rough day. Again, tomorrow, be aware of those cooler temperatures as it's just going to keep dropping into the lower 50s by tomorrow evening. But Jake, sticking here with Tallahassee and exactly what's going on as far as the weather goes, we have a lot of events here. We were just talking about the fair, but of course, there's a lot going on the FSU campus as well.
All right, we have the, as we mentioned earlier, 50th anniversary of the Oglesby Union coming up. North Florida Fair, all the way through Sunday. We have some sports going on too, right?
That's right. We've got our FSU men's basketball team this Saturday on November 15th at 1 p.m. before the Miami game. And you can see you'll be inside on Saturday as the temperatures are cooler, around 63 degrees. Of course, the women play on Friday, and then we got a softball doubleheader on Thursday.
Wow, so we have plenty of sports coming up. See if we can keep the success rolling right. Got a high temperature of 72 for the Miami game is our forecast right now, but temperatures going down as we move into the week with possible 30s and possible 20s into the weekend.
That's right. We're approaching those freezing temperatures. But of course, for more information, like us on Facebook. You can always follow us on Twitter and check us out anytime on livestream.com, any of our shows. And we've got an Instagram now, so if you're getting any fair pictures, we'd love for you to send in your photos.
Oh, absolutely. We would love to stream any pictures that you might take on the show. We use them right here.
Absolutely. We'd love that. But for tonight, I'm student meteorologist Donovan Wiseman.
I'm student meteorologist Jake Taylor. Have a good night.